Hi, my name's Graham Large. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm continuing with a series of fictional short stories that all feature people who were healed by Jesus. Today's story is about a woman that suffered for 18 years with a back problem, and we've all suffered from back problems from one time or another, but I cannot imagine that it was ever as bad as this woman. She was bent double for 18 years, not being able to strengthen her back. Anyway, let's get on with the story from her point of view. As long as I can remember, I've been bent over double. All I could see was the ground beneath my feet. Not that I'm miserable. I still worship the God of Israel and attend the synagogue on the Sabbath. Sometimes I must admit that I'm glad that I can't look out. At least that way I'm unable to see the pitying looks from people. Gradually, over 18 years, my condition has got progressively worse. It started with a backache, which I put down to carrying all the water from the well, but I found it increasingly difficult to straighten my back. The pain was becoming unbearable, and I had to give in to that pain as my back just kept on bending. It didn't take long before I couldn't walk without a stick. I hated shuffling along, not seeing where I was going and relying on my stick to stop me falling face first into the dusty road. But nothing would stop me still collecting the water from the well, with quite a bit of help from my fellow women. So there I was sat in the synagogue on the Sabbath, listening to the teacher that I could not look at without crying out in pain. And I couldn't cry out in pain because that just would not be acceptable to the leaders of the synagogue. So I just listened, looking down at the ground beneath my feet. I was listening quietly to the beautiful voice of the rabbi as he taught us. I could sense that he loved the scriptures just as much as I do. Suddenly he stopped, and I heard footsteps coming towards where I was sitting. It was the teacher, and he called for me to go to him. With a little bit of difficulty I stood, and as I went to him, I saw his feet first. You know, you can tell a lot about people from their feet. This is especially so when you are getting to know someone and you cannot look into their face. These were strong feet, I know, because I've become an expert over the years. You may believe this or not, but I trusted that person whose feet they were. And then he spoke. "Woman, you are loosed from your infirmity." He placed his hands upon me, and immediately my back straightened, and I was looking into that most beautiful face, the most beautiful that I'd ever seen. I was completely covered in his love, and his compassion for me just radiated from him. Falling to the floor, I called out to God, praising his almighty name. I thanked him for his mercy and the blessing of healing. I just wanted to shout from the rooftops that the God of Israel was the only God, and I would worship him forever. But then the mood changed. The ruler of the synagogue accused Jesus of breaking the law because he had healed me on the Sabbath, not one of the other 6 days that the leader said was acceptable. To be honest, I was a little bit frightened because I was thinking perhaps my back might become bent again. But Jesus then turned to the leader and said, "Hypocrite." I smiled. "Does not each one of you on the Sabbath loose his ox or donkey from the stall and lead it away to water it?" I smiled again because I knew this was true. Of course they did that on the Sabbath. Jesus then carried on and said, So ought this woman, being a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan has bound, think of it, be loosed from his bond on the Sabbath? I wanted to shout out, of course I do. But the leaders were stunned into silence. No, I got it. Why couldn't they? Then everybody started to rejoice about all the glorious things done by him. And to be honest, I haven't stopped rejoicing since. Thank you for listening to this short story. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it's encouraged you to go to the Bible and read the story that's told in the Bible in Luke 13 verses 10 to 17. Thank you once again, and thank you for your feedback, which I'm encouraged by. I hope to see you again soon. God bless you, and goodbye.